Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 15th verse of the 13th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This chapter is entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. Abhibrat Aryama Dandam Yathavad Agagarishu Yavad Dadhara Shudratvam Shapad Varsha Shatam Yamaha. The meaning of this verse is, as long as Vidura played the part of a Shudra, being cursed by Manduka Muni, Aryama officiated at the post of Yamaraj to punish those who committed sinful acts. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, already it has been told that Vidura was actually Yamaraj. Yamaraj was cursed due to a small mistake, slight mistake he did in carrying out his official responsibility, and he was cursed by Manduka Muni, and therefore he was born as Vidura in the womb of a Shudra woman. But actually, Prabhupada explains the real reason why it was actually a higher arrangement by the Supreme Lord that Yamaraj actually was cursed to take birth like that. So the hidden meaning of this particular incident is very nicely explained by Prabhupada in the purport. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, Vidura, born in the womb of a Shudra woman, was forbidden even to be a party of royal heritage along with his brothers Dhritarashtra and Pandu. If I may refresh your memory about who is Vidura in terms of his relationship with Dhritarashtra and Pandu. All the three are sons of Vichitravirya, but they are posthumous children. They were born after Vichitravirya's death. And how were they born after Vichitravirya's death? This is called Devarena Sutotpatti. That means if a person is unable to conceive children, whatever may be the reason why such a person is unable to conceive a reason, the emperor of the world, he has to have sons who can succeed him, qualified, capable, trained up sons. But Vichitravirya died untimely. So then there was nobody to ascend the throne. So then the mother of Vichitravirya, Satyavati, the wife of Shantanu, Vichitravirya's father, Satyavati, she called Vyasadeva and asked for a solution to this problem. So Vyasadeva agreed to impregnate the wives of Vichitravirya, Ambika and Ambalika. two queens. But it so happened that Vyasadeva, even though Vyasadeva was in perfect consciousness, but because he was undergoing severe austerities before he came to impregnate these wives of his brother, Devaran Sutopati means conceiving a child by the brother in the womb of one's own wife. So, Vyasadeva was the son of Satyavati before her marriage with Shantanu. So, Vyasadeva was called upon to impregnate these two queens so that there will be good progeny for later on occupying the throne. So, Dhritarashtra and Pandu were conceived by the two queens, but both of them were not conceived properly. So, therefore, in order to conceive a third child, one of the queens was asked to conceive a third child, but she, instead of conceiving one more child, she asked her maid to go in her place to conceive a child. And that royal maid actually was in very proper consciousness, and therefore Vyasadeva conceived in that womb of the maidservant Yamaraj, who was cursed to be born as the son of a maidservant. So that was Vidura. So Vidura is actually a stepbrother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So Dhritarashtra and Pandu were the two sons conceived in the queen. Even though they are conceived by Vyasadeva, they are considered sons of Vichitravirya. All the three are considered sons of Vichitravirya. But the son of the maidservant doesn't have the same position in terms of inheritance like the sons of the queen. So, Dhritarashtra and Pandu inherited whatever the royal opulence, but entitled to inherit, but Vidura, as the son of a maidservant, was not entitled for that. So, therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Vidura born in the womb of a Shudra woman was forbidden even to be a party of royal heritage along with his brothers Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So the question is being raised, how could Vidura occupy the post of a preacher to instruct such learned kings and Kshatriyas as Dhritarashtra and Maharaj Yudhishthira? If he is the son of a maidservant and he doesn't even have any inheritance, what is his authority to instruct and preach such learned Kshatriyas as Dhritarashtra and Maharaj Yudhishthira? So Srila Prabhupada gives the answer. The first answer is that even though it is accepted that Vidura was a Shudra by birth, because he renounced the world for spiritual enlightenment by the authority of Rishi Maitreya and was thoroughly educated by him in transcendental knowledge, he was quite competent to occupy the post of an acharya, spiritual preceptor. So always the scriptures say, irrespective of birth, if somebody is trained up and has got the qualities of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or even a Vaishya, even though he may be born in a Shudra family or a Shudra woman, still he is accepted as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya according to qualification, training, the qualities he displays, etc. So, Vidura was actually Yamaraj himself, and even though he was born in the womb of a Shudra woman, he had all the good qualities, because of which he was in a position to renounce and seek spiritual enlightenment by Maitreya Rishi And he was also thoroughly educated by Maitreya Rishi in transcendental knowledge. Therefore, he was competent to occupy the post of an acharya or spiritual preceptor. Now, Srila Prabhupada quotes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyone who is conversant in the transcendental knowledge or the science of Godhead, be he a Brahmana or a Shudra, a householder or a sannyasi, kiba vipra, kiba nyasi, Shudra kenanai, a Krishna Tattva Veta say Guru Hoy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even if a person is taken birth as a Shudra, or he is a Brahmana, or in terms of ashrama, in terms of varna, whether he is a Brahmana or Shudra doesn't matter. In terms of ashrama, whether he is a householder or a sannyasi doesn't matter. As long as he is conversant with transcendental knowledge or the science of Krishna consciousness, he is eligible to become a spiritual master. Ye Krishna Tattva Veta, one who knows in truth that science of Krishna consciousness, such a person, say Guru Hoy, he is qualified to occupy the post of a spiritual master or spiritual preceptor, a guru, a qualified guru. Now, Prabhupada also quotes Chanakya Pandit. Even in the ordinary moral codes maintained by Chanakya Pandit, the great politician and moralist, there is no harm in taking lessons from a person who may be by birth less than a Shudra, provided that person is qualified to impart lessons. So this birth is not important at all. That's what the acharyas have taught us. That is what the scriptures teach us. That's what even Chanakya Pandit says. This is one part of the answer, that Vidura is qualified. He has undergone thorough training by Maitreya Rishi. He has renounced the world for the sake of gaining spiritual enlightenment. So exceptionally qualified, even though taken birth in the womb of a maidservant. That's first part of the answer. Next is the other part of the reply for that question that was raised. How is he competent to instruct somebody like Dhritarashtra or Maharaj Yudhishthira? The second part of the answer is, Vidura was not actually a Shudra. He was to play the part of a so-called Shudra for 100 years, being cursed by Manduka Muni. He was the incarnation of Yamaraj. And who's Yamaraj? Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajanas. Mahajanas means they are the authorities on dharma. In the whole universe, there are 12 Mahajanas. So Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajanas on the level with such exalted personalities as the other Mahajanas, Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kapila, Bhishma, Prahlada, etc. So all these Mahajanas are the most exalted personalities in the whole universe. They are authorities on dharma. So being a Mahajana, it is the duty of Yamaraj to preach the cult of devotion to the people of the world, as Narada, Brahma and other Mahajanas do. All the Mahajanas are first class Mahabhagavatas, top class Vaishnavas, and they preach the science of Krishna consciousness to everyone. They are the most competent preachers of Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada explains further, but Yamaraj is always busy in his Plutonic kingdom punishing the doers of sinful acts. Yamaraj has got a duty, even though he is Mahajana, is qualified, but he has got this duty of punishing the wrongdoers. So, he generally doesn't have much time to take leave from his responsible office of punishing the wrongdoers. Therefore, Yamaraj wanted to preach the glories of the Lord. So he was, by the will of the Lord, he was cursed to become a Shudra. cursed to be born as a son of a Shudra. But he took birth at a time when Krishna had appeared as an incarnation. So he participated in Krishna Leela, and also he is an exalted devotee. Even though he is cursed, his consciousness doesn't become affected by the birth, because his activities are always those of a devotee. In any body, in any situation, in any position, he is always a pure devotee, Mahabhagavata, fixed up in his position as a pure devotee. So such a devotee is never a Shudra or a Brahmana or a householder or a sannyasi. He is transcendental to all divisions of Varna and Ashrama. So therefore, he is the most authorized and competent and most appropriate person to preach to anyone in the whole universe. What to speak of preaching to Dhritarashtra. So this is the explanation given. We should always understand him, Vidura, to be greater than the purest Brahmana, because he is the pure devotee. Mahabhagavata is also Mahajana. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Thank you very much.